What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, been a while, but got some updates for all of y'all. So, you're gonna see something different. No more rust over here, which is good, but I fucked up. The Bondo's all fucked on this side. I never did Bondo before, and then I did it, and I didn't sand it down properly, so this is just kind of touched up, but this new panel was welded in. Very, very good, actually. It's really good. Primered, whole bedside, painted it. Actually came out really, really good. Nice crisp lines. So that's done. Still got the panel for the other side to do. This is what it looks like now. We're gonna have 3 different colors: the bed, the door, this, and then the fucking actual cab line. Truck's going to get this fuel tank fixed. It still leaks from the sending unit, so that's gotta get fixed, obviously. But that's kind of a quick update. I just took it to the car wash as well as the trailer and the mowers to get everything washed. So let's get in and go for a ride and tell you guys kind of what I've been using this thing for. So make sure it starts first, because, you know, it's still a little touchy on the glow plug system. See how they're not turning on right now? Truck's warm. I've been driving around, so it should start. I wait for the beep anyway. It starts right up usually. So I personally hate the fact the glow plug controller still has issues. I hate it. Hey, we got the light working again. But top lights work, bottom lights work, side marker lights work. Everything's working on that extent. Other thing we did is I tore apart the whole passenger door, repainted the outside, put the mirror on, replaced the door handle so the button now works, and did the lock so the lock works now as well. Repainted the entire interior of the doors. Now there's no more green showing anywhere on it, including all along the sides, all up top, and all down this side. The sides are back there. There's still a little bit of green, but that's it. And repainted everything, fixed all the internals, fixed the locks, fix the mechanism, fix the door handle, fix all that stuff. So all that is in good, pretty much perfect working order now. All that was working again, which it wasn't a few days ago. But as you guys can see, your truck's been used a little bit recently. In fact, that is my dump card for the compost facility, and it has been used for a number of jobs. So as you guys may remember, the truck was brought on a landscaping job not too long ago, where we were carrying rock in and out of a garden bed and then putting new rock in. That was the first time I had ever used this truck on a landscaping job. Therefore, a little scary, but it did what it needed to do. So then I decided, let's build up some wooden sides. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video. So we built up the wooden sides, and then we started using it to carry grass back and forth from some of the bag lawns that I do, as well as when fall cleanup season comes around, we're gonna use it for that as well. I'm having a small issue with the belts squealing, and I'm debating whether or not I want to completely replace them, or if I want to try and tighten them. I know they're probably about as old as the truck is, so I'm leaning toward just replacing them. I'm also thinking about replacing pretty much all of the externals of the motor, so I want to do, I really know it's not worth it, it's not needed at this particular moment in time, but I really would like to do new radiator, new power steering pump, new cooling fan, new alternator, just that type of stuff to keep the engine, 100%. On at least like the outskirts of it, without having to get into the nitty of the engine. Meanwhile, me knowing the glow plug regulator / controller still needs to be fixed. Now, I'm tempted to put a fucking external button in, like what a lot of people do on these trucks, where they put the buttons in and they just rock an external button. You hold the button for 10 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever your glow plugs are rated for, and then you let it go. If you got to do it twice, you do it twice. The truck's not going to fight with you, all that. And it's just like, I want to do it. My issue is, I didn't want to mess with this truck on that end. I wanted to keep it mostly factory on that end. The truck is really meant to be a work truck for me, and therefore it's kind of like beating it and putting it into a category that's really not a work truck category. When I start doing that type of stuff to it, and I wanted, well, not a work truck category, my bad. I just mean, like, I wanted to keep the truck semi-original on the third gear at 8 miles an hour. I wanted to keep the truck as original as possible, but as a daily driver, as a work vehicle, I got to make sure the truck's going to start every day. And with continuous glow plug controller issues, I can't rely on it anymore, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that as the first start in the morning is a little rough, or it has been the past little while. You know, I've had a couple mornings where we got down into the low 60s, and the truck sat there and cranked for a minute, and it was like a full-blown cold start, and it's 60 degrees outside, which I know that's cold for a diesel, but it's got glow plugs for a reason. So, you know, I'm not going to plug it in at 60 degrees to make sure it starts in the morning. It's going to have glow plugs that work, because I'm not going to sit there and crank it when it's, you know, when it's 30 degrees outside. I'm not going to be sitting there cranking the motor and cranking the motor and cranking the motor, killing my batteries and my starter, because this thing doesn't want to cooperate. On that note, I have also come to the conclusion of, you know, this truck is really doing really well for everything I need it to do. It is doing very, very well so far. The truck has no balls when towing a trailer. Absolutely zero. And I mean none. Like, I have my single axle landscaping trailer with 2 mowers on it hooked up to this thing, and it struggles sometimes. You know, and I mean, I expect that. 148 horse, 200 and something, like 250 foot-pounds of torque. I expect it to struggle a little bit. I really do. But I don't expect it to, you know, struggle so much to where I can't even, you know, get up a hill or whatever. You know, we were having a hard time holding 35 miles an hour on, mind you, what was a pretty steep hill, and the truck was loaded down, bed full of grass, back had a trailer on it. But, you know, I kind of expect a 3/4 ton diesel to be able to tow a good, you know, 4,000 pounds. That doesn't even include, like, I've towed my, you know, my dad's got about a 7,500, maybe 8,000 pound boat I've hooked up to this truck, and it does fine. In low range, it does great. Under 30 miles an hour, it does great. But above and beyond that, it has a hard time. And the other issue is that trailer has hydraulic brakes. And so, yes, they are helpful. Not nearly as helpful as disc brakes would be. And that's the other thing I'm debating is I want to get an enclosed trailer or a bigger open trailer, which means that this truck has to be equipped with a brake controller. I don't mind doing that as long as I know that the load that I'm going to put behind it that needs a brake controller, this truck can pull. And, you know, there are times where I genuinely feel like it can't. I've hooked it up to a couple of trailers that it really does have a hard time pulling. And, you know, mind you, I know that it is a very, very low power, gutless diesel. But I was kind of hoping for maybe wow, I'm really having a hard time staying on the road tonight because I'm holding my phone to record for you guys. And I'm like all over the road. So, you know, I'm having a little bit of a hard, dude, it's a red light for you, bro. Where are you going? Dude was just running the red light, like no fucks given, just full blown running it. Anyway, so, you know, it's a little bit of a dilemma for me, you know, what we're gonna end up doing. I'm really giving you guys my all right now, holding my phone and taking driving as the second thing I'm doing and recording as the first. Don't do this. Don't ever do this where you're recording while driving and you're actually holding the phone. Oh God, this shit's sketchy. So anyway, so, you know, we're still mowing every day. The truck's gonna be used a little bit more in coming months, month-ish and a half-ish. Specifically for fall cleanup season, I want to use it more. It'll make my life a little bit easier with dumping everything right back in there. You know, and then, so one of my projects for the winter, I'm thinking might be putting AC into this truck. Now, many people don't understand why I want to do that. As a daily driver, upstate New York, you know, we do get pretty hot up here. I mean, this year we got up to 97. We were working one day, not in this truck. We were in the white truck. And I feel like AC, yes, not original, but, you know, would really kick that daily driver work truck up to another level and make me really love driving it even more than I already do. And, you know, for it to have AC would make it a lot more comfortable for me and for anybody else that ever wants to drive it, borrow it, drive it for me, do whatever, or riding with me for that matter, makes it a little bit more comfortable. Now, mind you, I had this truck out on an 85, 90 degree day, going down the road, doing 60 miles an hour, vent windows open, foot vents open, windows open, and this truck was actually really, really good inside. Now, mind you, we were doing 60 miles an hour on a straight road, and you know, it was all right. The problem is it hits you in the front. You get all that air in the front, you're fine, but your back starts sweating, and you're like, ew, I don't know if I'm a fan of this. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of where that's kind of where I'm at. But you know, the truck's going down to the mechanic in a few days to get the passenger side fuel tank fixed. It's still leaking, so that's the tank that I actually put in it. The sending unit is leaking up on top. I don't know if it's a return or if it's a outline, whether it's the line to the motor or if it's the line from the motor back. I don't know which one's leaking, but I know one of them is. And that's why I don't use the passenger side tank as much as I really could be. You know, and I know the truck really is meant to have both tanks used. I've been using the passenger side tank a little bit, and the problem is when you turn the truck off, you know, there's a puddle of diesel sitting on top of the tank, and, you know, with the tank and it's just sitting there, it leaks right down. The tank's, you know, an oval pretty much, so, I mean, it's a box, but it's got some bended curves, so it leaks a little bit when you're just sitting there, especially when the truck's running, because it's leaking that fuel from running too, so, you know, it's, I don't mind it as much if it's being parked on the lawn or whatever, but when it's being parked on pavement and everything, it's really not a situation that I particularly like being in for myself. You know, me knowing full well that it does it, I mean, obviously gives me a little bit of satisfaction at the fact that I don't really mind it. You know, it's kind of, you know, I know it's doing it. I know what's leaking. I know why it's leaking. I know that I made the issue, so it's all right. But it's still a little bit of a dilemma because after running it with that tank, it can't be parked in a certain driveway. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So I want to go get that fixed. I don't know how much it's going to cost me, but, you know, it's got to be fixed anyway. And then one of these days, maybe this winter, I'd really like to start the interior build. You know, that was the main thing I wanted to do with this truck. Obviously, before winter, I want to get that other side done, other side painted. I would love to get the rockers done, the other bedside done, and get the entire truck painted one color. As we talked about in previous videos, I believe, talked about doing bed liner on the whole truck. You know, and it would really be a cool feature to me. And for a truck that's going to get beat up a little bit, you know, I wouldn't mind having that. But, you know, I've also heard from a couple of people that have done it not to, because it's irreversible pretty much. I mean, unless you're pulling body panels off, or you're sitting there with a razor blade and, you know, all that crap, taking this crap off. But, you know, I personally don't see the big problem with that. I just see it kind of being a bitch to do. So, anyway, that's pretty much our video for tonight, you guys. I appreciate all of you watching. We've gotten 3 subscribers over the past little bit. I think it was like 28 days we've gotten 3 subscribers, which is amazing from the fact that I posted a video a year ago and it got 50 views in a year. And now, you know, I'm getting videos that have 50 views within a couple of days. And, you know, I'm really happy about that for me personally. And so I really appreciate all of you guys who are, you know, coming, seeing the videos. You know, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing because, you know, the more you like and subscribe, the more stuff that I'll do with this. And, you know, the more, got a copy, I mean, no. The more that I really can do with this when I know, you know, there's people watching it and everything. So, make sure y'all are liking and subscribing, and I'll definitely keep up good content for you guys. And, you know, content's only ever going to get better. It really, I mean, I don't think it really can ever get worse, you know, from using a smartphone and, you know, cameras and everything. So you guys like and subscribe. I'll make sure you guys are getting some pretty good content, and, you know, we're always doing something cool and interesting. Make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one, and I will definitely keep you updated on what comes next with the truck. You know, I want to get you guys into some of the work that I'm actually doing with it, but, you know, time will come. So make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching. Peace.